Planet Dolan.
From drinking their own urine to putting makeup on a cat, the Planet Dolan crew reenacts some of the best true stories from our subreddit about our weirdest encounters with drunk people. I'm Hellbent, and today I'll be your narrator. Number 10 was submitted by Pixelpoepleman. Salty Squid was at his brother's wedding when he encountered his brother's drunk friend Nixiom. He walked up to him and looked at his forearms, which were ripped from years of wrestling. Nixiom said, "Your forearms are really overdeveloped and your biceps are really underdeveloped." He continued to tell Salty Squid that he was doing too much of this and grabbed Salty Squid's hand and made a masturbating motion. He went on to tell him that he wasn't doing enough of this, then humped the air. Later that night, Nixiom tried to get Salty Squid to dance with him 3 times. When he refused and sat in his chair, Nixiom picked him up. He was about to throw him in a lake that was nearby. Luckily, his brother came in and tackled him. Number 9 was submitted by __Mars_______. One time, when Ladybot was in a laundromat, a drunk man sat next to her. He complimented her hair, which she thanked him for doing. Then he began to talk about his desires of becoming a tattoo artist. Ladybot nodded and gave one-word answers, as not to be rude, but still let him know that she wanted peace and quiet. She was hoping that he would get the message and leave, but he didn't. Instead, he blankly said, "The police are saying that I murdered my wife." Ladybot froze and looked around the laundromat, wondering if anybody else heard. When she asked him why the police were saying that, he began rambling on about how he and his wife had an argument where he threatened to kill her. He went on to say how it was bullshit that the police weren't taking his side. Ladybot was still in shock about how much he was confessing. He told her to look at his phone for some reason and that she will be his witness in court. Ladybot faked a smile and looked over at his phone. He finally walked away, and Ladybot saw her opportunity to run out of there. Number 8 was submitted by Tiny-Lilly. One day, Spences was walking to the bus stop from school to meet her brother. While she passed by an abandoned shop, she saw a drunk guy yelling at people as they passed by him. As soon as Spences reached her brother, she explained to him what she saw. Wanting to check it out, her brother went to the abandoned shop where he saw the guy. He wasn't yelling anymore, but he was pissing in an empty beer bottle. When he finished, the guy picked up the bottle of piss and drank it. Her brother laughed, but Spences felt sick. Number 7 was submitted by Thewingdingspeaker. When Gergak was 13, he went to a Halloween party with his dad. After the party, his dad went to the bathroom. While Gergak's dad was at the urinal, a big drunk homeless man walked in and stood next to the urinals. He said to Gergak's dad, "Hey, nice penis." At that point, Gergak walked in wearing his zombie costume. The man turned around and screamed. He pulled out a knife and stabbed Gergak in the gut. The cops came, and after stabbing one of them, the other cop shot him in the arm. The man got arrested, and Gergak had to go to the hospital to get stitches. Oh, some awfully nice cops to deploy nonviolent force after a man stabs a child and stabs another police officer. This is very believable. Number 6 was submitted by Rambeliever. Ramona went to Washington, D.C. with her 8th grade class. One of their stops was at the Crime and Punishment Museum. They were in the interactive section, which was a mock-up of a crime scene. Being a fan of murder mysteries, Ramona, along with her 2 friends, were trying to solve the fake murder when one of her friends began looking around the bed. She mentioned that the dummy on the bed looked very realistic when it suddenly grabbed her. Ramona tried to get him off of her, but he pulled her friend to his arms and mumbled, "No, that's my teddy bear." Ramona decided to play along, so she said in a motherly voice,
"Come on, sweetheart, you're going to miss the bus."
The man was so drunk that he fell for it, and he dropped her friend and ran out of the museum shouting. Number 5 was submitted by Chagui. One day, Froggy and her mother got home from grocery shopping. They let the dog out while they carried the groceries inside. Their dog, like always, barked. The woman who lived next door to them heard the dog and went up to them. Obviously drunk, she asked,
"Hey, I know this is gonna sound weird, but can I play with your dog?"
Froggy's mom decided to let her inside. When the woman walked in, she saw a large aquarium in the living room that housed Froggy's pet lizard. Upon seeing the lizard, the woman decided to play with it. While the woman played with the lizard, and then once they let him inside, she said,
I was just bored at home and drank some vodka, and then I heard your dog, and I just wanted to play with some animals.
After playing with their pets for around 20 minutes, the woman pulled out her cell phone and called her husband saying,
Hey, come next door. They got this really cool lizard.
A few minutes later, he showed up and he was pissed. He apologized to Froggy and her mom if his wife bothered them before taking her home. He chastised her for being drunk and wandering around the neighborhood. Number 4 was submitted by Mystic Tulip. 3 years ago, Doopy and her friends went to a Halloween party. Doopy was wearing a fox costume while her friends dressed up as various anime characters. While waiting on a bench for Doopy's mom to pick them up, a very drunk man came up from behind them and started petting Doopy's head. He whispered,
Good kitty. Pretty kitty.
She jumped up and yelled,
What the fuck?
The man said,
Oh, sorry, Garfield.
Doopy's mom picked them up shortly after. Number 3 was submitted by Annihilator 2021. When she was 15, Mimi went to the new apartment of her sister and her fiancé to help them unpack. As they were unpacking, Mimi's soon-to-be sister-in-law asked if she would mind if she drank around her. Mimi said it was fine. Once her friends arrived, they began to play a drinking game called King and I. By the third round, Mimi's future sister-in-law was very drunk. She picked up the cat and walked into the bathroom with it. About an hour later, Mimi walked into the bathroom and found her future sister-in-law in the bathtub, cuddling with the cat while repeating,
I'm the cat woman.
Then she climbed out of the bathtub, pulled out her makeup case, and put makeup on the cat. That's when Mimi's sister walked in. After seeing their cat in makeup, she fell to the floor laughing her ass off. Number 2 was submitted by MotorGoat91. Spinal Palm took the bus home one day. He sat in the back listening to music. A couple of stops later, a drunk middle-aged man stepped on. On the way to the back of the bus, he noticed the drunk man almost falling a few times. Once he got to Spinal Palm's row, he sat as close to him as he could. At first, he ignored the man and tried to focus on his music, but the man screamed for attention. Not wanting to be rude, Spinal Palm listened to the man's story. The man told him about his house, his wife, and the reason why he was so drunk. He didn't care about what the man was telling him until he blurted out about how Spinal Palm was fat and said it was because all kids nowadays just play video games. The man went on to say that if he wanted to be in shape like him, then he should go out and explore. He even suggested he go down to a ditch, find a fox or some other animal, and then flay it with a pocket knife. Spinal Palm was angry, yet baffled. As soon as the man got off the bus, he just laughed. Number 1 was submitted by CompletelyAbnormal. One time, Tulip was driving in her car when the car behind her started to swerve. The car almost hit her, so she pulled over. The other car followed her onto the shoulder. A very drunk man climbed out and danced over to Tulip while she yelled at him. The drunk man yelled, I'm Superman! He continued to drunkenly dance over to her. He went up to Tulip, cornering her against the car. He asked, Hey, how old are you? You look like you're in your mid-late 50s. After that, Tulip called the police, who came and arrested the man. Huge thanks for the folks over on our Planet Dolan subreddit for submitting their stories. We have another question for you. What's the scariest thing you experienced as a kid? Let us know on the Reddit page linked below and you might be featured in a future countdown.
Oh, that's Dawn. Guys, there's a hot new update to Dawn Cut Turbo.
I'm finally in a video game thing, and they made a level just for me. Pecan's Paradise. Don't touch the candy canes though. They hurt big time.
Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.